Hello and welcome back to Exeter City, and this is going to be one of the longest updates I've ever done. It'll also hopefully be one of the most efficient. Let's get you caught up. We saw Roman because physically he imploded, and you kind of get the gist of where maybe we made inbound transfers as well, because I spotted this because I'd worked out there was one spot in this team that if I was going to make a big purchase for this final season to try and win the title, everywhere else was kind of covered already, except for central defence. That's where I thought I could make the biggest upgrade, and that's where I have made the upgrade. But at the same time, I also noticed that Romanoli no longer really worked physically anymore, so I sold him for a surprising £3 million. Did cost me £8 million last year, so not exactly money well spent. And that's because I did actually go for Ruben Diaz. Kind of teased it last time round when I spotted him on the transfer list. We paid £50 million for him, front/over time. It's about a £60 million deal if he plays 50 games, but of course we won't do that in one season, so never mind. He's made 11 appearances this season for us so far and got 7.22. I also bought Demaral for 30 million. Well, 32 guaranteed again, another 12 million if he makes 50 appearances, and he's actually made 7 already, despite the fact, of course, our front two, our leading centre-backs are Morato and Diaz. That's largely because he's been used at right-back. Yeah, we've had mini crises there so far. I actually got the Demaral deal sorted first and then delayed it to see what happened with Diaz, and then on deadline day confirmed them both because we could just about do it. It did put me about 200 grand over my wage budget at the time. I have since requested more wages and got that through. And well, buying a world-class defender might have done the trick. You may recall last season Avalos had 9 clean sheets full stop. There's the general gist of our season. We're in December and he has 8 clean sheets for the season so far. Turns out he might not have been the problem. 9 conceded in 15 appearances in the league. 9. Did 50 last year in 32. But as promised, I brought you back for the last Champions League group game and then Brighton. We've got Oxford in the Carabao Cup quarter-final, which I did try to throw against Man United. I completely rotated for Man United, as you can see by the goal scores of Ampadu, Pereira and Randall, who are all rotation options these days, and we still won 3-1. So that worked out. Didn't work out against Feyenoord, the one I actually did want to win with a rotated team. But we've also qualified from that, and we played Milan to decide who goes through first and who goes through second. So it does matter, because obviously I prefer to be first, because probably the better ones are in second. I just need to mention the draw for the Champions League, which featured, of course, more English sides than it would normally. The English sides as first seeds were Arsenal, because they won the Premier League, ourselves, because we won the Champions League, and Wolves, because they won the Europa League. Arsenal, Exeter and Wolves were the top seeds. It's a weird world, this one now, already. And I also have to mention Millwall. They're in the Premier League. They are currently bottom, as you would probably expect from them. But I did forget to mention them, kind of, in the last one. I edited in a boomph. Forgot about that. But yeah, the team that we've been renting a stadium from got promoted to the season that we leave the stadium. So the Den gets Premier League football for the entirety of another year. We actually didn't move into our new stadium until October, so we played about half a dozen games there still this season, and then promptly left it. Uribe's the best player in this season. Chelsea are back, but we are in the title fight, as you can see. I think that's everything. It is a bit of a balancing act at the moment. We do have Morato on a yellow card warning. I don't know whether I actually want him to get it or not, but the games played are catching up with people now. I keep getting Diaz with a rest warning. I got Uribe with a rest warning at one point, and Fernandez has only just come back from one as well. So, yeah, bit of a balancing act this Christmas period, and probably for the rest of the season, let's be honest. Taberio back from the second injury he's had this season. The only thing is, he and Nasri get injured at the same time, every time. They don't spread them out and just allow one person to be at right back at any given point. No, they just get injured at exactly the same time, and it's happened twice. But the team for this will be Avalos in goal, Tiberio, Demaral, Morato, Atamenge, Hesham, Zobazlai, Szymanski, Uribe, Eduardo, and then Saunders. Sanchez has actually agreed to be a backup goalkeeper now, so that's nice. One less person I need to worry about. Oh, speaking of Zobazlai, actually, for some reason, he's just retired from international football. He's 29. Oh, good. Milan come into this with 5 wins on the bouts. Felt like we played Milan last year, didn't we? And our run to the final. And we're surprised at the fact they still had Teo Hernandez and Tomori in their team. I feel like the Arsenal of Serie A right now in the fact they've still got most of their actual team 9 years on. Szymanski is in, and that's not a goal yet. Still not a goal. That's the ball put in. Oh, the goal 50 happened in the sense of the 50 best players in the world. That happened as well. Ruben Diaz is one of them, so he counts now. He was 42nd. And then weirdly Atamenge at 34th. Yeah, I don't get that one, considering Ciro Fernandez is apparently the third best player in the division. It's hard to tell who's the third best because Man City have the first two. Oh, AC Milan have scored. That's fun. Fabio Vieira, speaking of Arsenal. Brahim Diaz, another one, of course. To Julian Alvarez, speaking of Manchester City. It's the post, Fabio Vieira. Yeah, not sure Avalos could have done much about that. He's died acrobatically both times, though, bless him. Mike Maignan still there, 9 years on. How old is Mike Maignan? I know he's a goalkeeper. I feel like I had that question last year. Rafinha plays a short to Fabio Vieira, and I don't like this. Yep, saw that one coming. As soon as they do a set piece like that, you know they're just scoring a banger. Or a dumb goal. One of the two. There's no in between, really, when it comes to highlights like that. I knew I was going to be annoyed one way or the other. Now they're playing out from the back, which working out for them so far, because they got to Rafinha without any issues, and he's just walked around at Menge. Zobozlai thankfully covering Avalos. Do not hoop. Well, I suppose it's Carlos Eduardo, so that's fine. Uribe through to Szymanski's offside, so never mind. Why do I bother? He was clearly offside, Uribe. Oh, actually, well, maybe the 3D engine's messed up there. Mine is only 34. I'll be honest, that surprised me. I was expecting him to be about 28 in real life, and therefore about 36, 37 now in the game. But Mukiele throws it to Raspadori. Rafinha. Mukiele. Oh, Demiral's headed that one clear. Nice. Eduardo. Saunders. One of the main reasons for upgrading Ampadu, of course, is well, he doesn't have great jumping reach, particularly for a defender. He's only 13. And he also isn't a homegrown club. Despite the fact he was homegrown at Exeter, he's not actually counting as homegrown club for whatever reason. So, yeah, that illusion was shattered recently, and my loyalty to him evaporated in an instant. Esham, Atamenge, Uribe. I'm not going to sell him, just because narratively I still want him to be that. Eduardo's not celebrating. Oh, he's grabbed the ball. Does that count? It does count. It technically didn't raise his arm, which normally means he's onside. But, oh yeah, he's miles on. Carlos Eduardo. I had to field the question recently in a press conference interview. Should Eduardo be in the Brazil team? I mean, he scored the most goals in the calendar year so far, so I'd imagine so. Fabio Vieira, Raspadori, Teo Hernandez, Brahim Diaz. If he doesn't win Golden Boot or, Player of the Year and all that jazz, the game's broken. Raspadori, Atamenge back out again. Hesham, Eduardo, there's a runner there. You've kind of waited too long. And now Saunders ain't getting on the end of that. Down to Zobozlai again, though. This time it's forward. Nowhere near again. Szymanski hops onto that poor header. And it's a poor pass again for Teo Hernandez to get in the way of. Can anyone just keep possession here? That'd be great. I'd like to know whose highlighted is. Everybody's into the box at least. Progress is a goal. Oh, it's like watching a tennis match for a moment there. Doesn't help that we kind of use the same three colours, I guess. Red, white and black. But Eduardo. I did see, actually, the weekend that, Jay Stansfield scored, which is nice. If you've not looked at that story yet, do check that out. It's a lovely, heartwarming story. They're speaking on the real world Exeter. I actually didn't see how that game ended, but I didn't know he scored. I just know I was disappointed by the majority of teams that I backed this weekend. Fabio Vieira on the ball. Alvarez. Brahim Diaz. Where are we going with this? Rafinha's smacked it at Avalos and he's made a save. Good work. I have to say, that right centre mid has been booked in basically every game so far this season. Mark Fisher's already had a suspension, and he's not even played in every game, just because of rotation. Atamenge, forward. Szymanski, back out to the left back. Is he the one to put the ball in? No, he's stopped on the corner. It's Zobozlai now. He's the one to put the ball in, and it's fallen to Uribe at the back post. It's a missed header, and that one is the fault of a missed header. 14 goals for Uribe this season now as well. He's in fine scoring form. I do believe he's been called up by Colombia for the World Cup. Can't win the World Cup. It was an international competition, though. Oh, God, is it a competition that's going to take him out of the running for a month? Because I think he's the one player that still counts as under 21. So maybe it's one of those competitions. Oh, no. AC Milan on the ball again, and Raspadori's in a dangerous position here. Yeah, that's what I'd call dangerous. It's 3-3, which I'm pretty certain is the same result as the first match. It's all held onto the ball well enough, and Raspadori was in a dangerous enough position that I felt concerned. Demiral looks huge. I didn't think he was that tall. 6'4". Yeah, he's not massive. Morato 6'3". Yeah, I don't know what that height difference is then. It must have just not been Morato next to him. Let's see if I can turn Uribe around, who seems to be demotivated for whatever reason, after telling them they weren't good enough, because we're drawing at home, and we've let 3 goals in from an XG of 0.7. So, note to self, never praise a goalkeeper before a game, because that's what happens. Saunders is in, but he's just walked away from the goal, and that's a penalty. I'm sorry. The ball went to a player, so it's clearly a foul, because no other reason why it would. Saunders finds Uribe, though. Oh, well, if we can't get a penalty, we'll score an actual goal then. 4-3. I mean, I'm glad I brought you back for this game. There were so many games I've bypassed so far. You do kind of worry about the one you actually end up landing on. Yeah, you get your money's worth. Uribe's in, and it's a great finish from Uribe. He has come alive this season. We're seeing it with offside lines because why not? Yeah, he's on. Can't see him, though. Oh, now it's 4-3. What do I shout at them? I can't praise them. Tiberio was returning to fitness, in fairness, so substitute him off. I did put Nasri on the bench. I'm going to pause it to actually get this done, because otherwise we're running out of time here. Segovia is on the bench too, as is... I think I've got to protect the left back most of all, I reckon. Stuart Smith. Atamange's had a good game, but Nasri weirdly came on before Segovia and Smith there. I don't know exactly what happened, but Zoboslai's putting the ball in, and Carlos Eduardo's there, and Uribe's there. Oh, it's a hat-trick. What happened? Because I do always put one of the strikers on run in from the edge, and it's Eduardo. Did he get the head on, or did he just sort of miss everyone? Also, I'm not quite sure why he said he did an outswinging corner. I suppose he's got the option, but then Morale, Segovia. It's Zoboslai again. Segovia, Uribe. They brought a new gen on the left back. Segovia's gone for... Well, he's only scored bangers this season. He won goal of the month earlier. October, I believe. I mean, a lovely goal. He's outside the boot, that. That's Modric-esque. Well, I don't know what happened in that second half, but AC Milan vanished. I mean, they are absolutely shattered as well, in fairness. 2 goals for Eduardo, 3 for Uribe, and 1 for Segovia. We'll take it. That sees us through first seeds. Are we on the first day or second day today? I was still on the first day, but Exeter through first. Real Madrid ahead of Liverpool. Can't draw them anyway. Dortmund ahead of Juventus. Wolves ahead of Monaco. Good job by Wolves there. Bayern currently ahead of Man United. Inter currently ahead of Ajax or Celtic. That wouldn't be the nice one to draw, wouldn't it? Barca ahead of PSG. Equally bad right now. And Arsenal well clear of Lyon or Roma. They're the other ones they're the ones you want to get. Whoever finishes second in F or H. 3 goals and he assisted all 3 of the others. Blimey. If he doesn't get a team of the week, I don't know what will. Just because he's asking you about what his future is. He's staying in the club. I'm just going to mention, I did try to sign Salah, who was a free agent. He retired instead, which feels like it feels like a massive insult is what it feels like. Rather than play for Exeter, he retired. We won the Champions League. This is a good group of players coming through. C. We have 3 C prospects. I mean, I suppose if we blood some squad players, that's not the end of the world, but... Oh, there was one final bit of news. 20 youth facilities, not that they'll ever get used in this save. So if I'm not mistaken, that might be Celtic through, and I don't know about Group H. Roma. Thought they might have pipped it. But yeah, Celtic or Roma, please. United, you said Bayern as well in the process. But I prefer Barca to PSG, I don't know. Oh, the draw isn't far off. I definitely missed it last year. So the league are making a few changes. Diaz in at centre-back. Segovia and Markovic will be the midfielders to begin with, just because they didn't play the last game. Praza also ahead of them, just because Szymanski was absolutely shattered at the end of all that. Strikers, I can't really change, just because Ciro Fernandez took a little knock, which will mean he's out for this particular game and this particular game only. And whilst I talked about it whilst I was discussing Millwall, did forget to mention that last game was your first time seeing the new stadium. And only time, because we're away against Brighton here. A Brighton team that features no current Brighton players in the first 11. They are currently sat 12th. Everton actually having a relatively poor season, considering. Just noticed they were next to them. This Brighton in this world, not quite as good as the one in real life. They have been relegated at various times. So the fact they are staying up now is good. It's Tiberio on the end of that, though. Ruben probably should have started Nasri, actually, for this one. Segovia, though, we'll find Atamenge on that left-hand side. Of course, we will fully rotate for Oxford in the next game. That you won't see, but... in a weird way, I'm thankful that's the team we drew, considering we've got to that stage, because it does allow me just to basically field every rotation option and give everyone a break. But at the same time, I would have preferred to play someone better and be knocked out before I have to deal with 2 extra games in January. They've got a corner. They've nearly scored. Give our lads a little encourage, as Markovic has already been booked. I told you, this get booked straight away, every game. Francisco's hit that so far. It's nearly gone to San Francisco. Melier over that ball. Uribe gets the knockdown. Saunders has been put clean through. He's not great, so we'll wait for him to turn around. Uribe's at the far side. Can he do the same this way round? No, Markovic with a block. Back to Uribe. It's Saunders at the back post, and he scored a goal. I apologise for being patronising earlier, but still his only 3rd goal of the season. I don't believe he was on a dry streak. Prieto was sort of under the radar. He'd gone 13 games without a goal, and then he scored recently. But that's a lovely header, actually. Just dips at the far post to go in. That's what I need. I need those players who come in for injured star players. I need them to do the performances. Players like Segovia, players like Saunders, Pereira when he's in. I need them to step up. Prazert, I'm looking at you, mate, as well. Don't think you put in one good... Oh, that's just bounced off Atamenge. Thankfully, Brian just kicked it to Tiberio, who's taken the captain's armband today. Of course, no Prieto. Amrabat, back to Amrabat. Oh, he's got to be like 34, at least. Markovic, Atamenge. Where are you going with this? Ball's about to Segovia, finds Saunders near post, hooks it to the back post and, well, returns the favour from Ramiro Uribe, who's now up to 17 before Christmas. It's not quite Haaland numbers, but we do have 3 strikers. They share it out. Let's not forget though, the intention of this 3 at the front system is actually just effectively the better version of having inside forwards, because the inside forwards in this year's game didn't work properly. We are effectively playing 4-2-3-1. Just a rebate. On the end of that though, that's a poor corner from them, and we get to run free. It's still a rebate. Saunders is there. There's another man coming, number 7, Markovic, if we found the ball for him. Well, technically they did, but not in the way I intended. Avadidi, those got their clearance. I'm marginally concerned this will get them in. Morato looked like he was about to foul them, but Ruben Diaz cleans up, and it's Uribe not under that. Gutierrez, McCallum, Ibarra, Mavadidi again. Francisco's clean through. He's gone from distance, and that's a goal. Well, the highlighted clean sheets, they've not happened today. But Avlos should at least get double digits this year. Surprisingly poor defending from Diaz and Morato here. Morato went into the player and left the gap on a stroke of half time as well. Not Carl Eduardo's best game, annoyingly, after praising him as well. Right, whomstever gets most time between Markovic and Segovia first will come off for Hesham. Nearly another goal for... Never mind, it's another goal for Ramiro Uribe. It was nearly another goal for Martin Saunders, this 3-1. I think Zoboslai's on the bench, but I'm trying not to use him because it was listed as tired. But Uribe tries to do the same thing, actually. Saunders header and then rebound. So that would be another Saunders assist, technically, because the goalie didn't get it. Free kick for Segovia. No Szymanski or Zoboslai, of course, for set pieces. I'll just double check what their assist numbers before we wrap up, because obviously I'll be very surprised if you didn't want to know. That's the whole point of getting them, was for the assists, so I will find out those details for you before we leave today. Uribe tries to chip and get his back-to-back hat-trick. Can't take him off. He's on a hat-trick. Why did my system want me to take him off? Does he not understand football? Saunders finds Prazit, finds Uribe. That's gone nowhere. It's also not the end of the highlight. This now concerns me. Francisco, back to Steven Sessegnon. Francisco again. Is that an own goal? It counts as an own goal, Morato. I wasn't certain what happened there. It looked like he'd done a very light chip over the goalkeeper, but it's come off Morato in some shape or form. I'll watch very intently here. Oh, has he sort of toe-poked it the other side of the diving Avalos? Well, to be fair, I think if it had gone on the normal trajectory, Avalos would have just pushed it into the path of whoever was in the box. Nice, so Segovia for Hesham, Prazit for Szymanski. Both of those booked and tied. Can we... Thank you. We've got a free kick. Taberia is now booked as well. So Nazarion, he's not going to get enough time for a rating, but never mind. Sessegnon, Mavadidi heads clear. McCallum. That was closer than I would have liked. And once again, I'm in an awkward situation where I don't know what to click shout-wise, because we're 1 goal ahead. I wish that situation was obvious. Nazari. I either wish they were more vague, or if the shouts weren't more, or if I knew what the shout was for 1 goal up. Szymanski, it'll take the corner, and we have foxed the player to come near. So that leaves someone free, but they actually get the header on it. Atamenge back on the ball. Uribe and Saunders were booked as well. We had 6 bookings in this game. Are we about to be fined? I'm not sure what's happened in this particular game. Apparently we've won 13 out of 13 tackles. So God knows how we've managed to get 6 bookings. 100% tackle rate, 6 bookings. But 3 points are 3 points. I just saw on the text thing at the bottom that apparently Millwall have the worst discipline in the Premier League. Football Manager is good at simulating some things, apparently. That shows you the overall situation. Uribe leads the way with 18 goals, Fernandez with 15, and Eduardo with 12. Pereira in 9 starters, 6 goals. Morato has 4. And assist-wise, actually, Uribe has more assists, but Zoboslai and Szymanski, of course, share the corners this year, so it's 21 between them. However many of those are set pieces, can't really tell, but 21 between them. Sorry, that's just blown my mind. Sean Dyche is Oxford manager. I wasn't going to mention it, but because we've mentioned Sean Dyche, who became Sheffield United manager once upon a time, I do need to highlight the fact that their managerial list has gone Sean Dyche, Eddie Howe, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and then Thomas Frank, who left to go to Denmark. Not a specific team, just Denmark, which kind of feels fitting. And because I faffed around looking at that, I accidentally clicked through the Champions League draw. We got Monaco, which is good. Wolves got Celtic, and PSG got Roma. Okay, so they got the other 2. So we effectively got the 3rd best one, probably. So we'll take that. 4 English teams on the first seed side, and then just Liverpool on the second seed side. Good going. But I made the draw because it could likely be where I come back here, although there's Liverpool and Arsenal immediately after the transfer window. I said I'd do the next one after January, then one in March-ish, and then one at the end of the year. In fact, actually, the second leg of the Monaco thing's in March, so that's probably the sensible thing to do. I'll bring you back for the Liverpool and Arsenal games immediately after the January transfer window next time around. If you've enjoyed this episode, then do give it a like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal by now. Goalfield, at least, wasn't it? Anyway, yes, I do apologise. This last season is going to be a little bit speedier than usual, but we do have to get things wrapped up by FM23. Until next time, tra.